Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today's Monday, June 22nd. We've got 4 games on the board in the FIFA World Cup. I'm going to go through each and every game on the board. We'll give you the pick and the prediction for that match. But first off, I just want to keep mentioning this current run that we're on. It's going well for us. 10-3-1. 10 wins, 3 losses, 1 push in the last 14 FIFA World Cup picks. Up 6.3 units during that stretch. And remember, every pick has been documented on YouTube before kickoff. Thank you again, guys, for supporting the channel. I really appreciate that. Thank you for leaving a like. Thank you for commenting. Thank you for being subscribed. It really, really means a lot to me, and I truly appreciate that. All right, guys. Sunday, June 21st, we lost our first 2 plays of the day. Saudi Arabia got absolutely smoked by Spain. And then Belgium, unfortunately, could not get a goal in their game against Iran. That game ended 0-0. So Saudi Arabia lost to Spain 4-0. Iran tied Belgium 0-0 after Belgium got a red card. Ngoy got the red card. And then Cape Verde comes in and ties Uruguay. So Uruguay have now tied 2 matches. Very disappointing tournament for Uruguay, but Cape Verde, 2 matches in this tournament, 1 against Spain and one against Uruguay, and they've tied both of them. You just got to tip your cap to Cape Verde for what they've been able to do. We were on them, Cape Verde plus a goal at odds of plus 107 that cashed, and then in a 2-2 draw against Uruguay. And then we had Egypt -1 plus 100 to round out the night. And Egypt was losing in that game for a lot of the game, but they came back. They tied the game in the second half, and then they would score 2 more goals to take the lead, and then take the lead by 2 goals and cover the spread for us. So after losing the first 2 plays of the day, we pick up the final 2, and we go 2-2 on the day, bringing us to our, in the last 14 picks, 10 wins, 3 losses, 1 push, up 6.3 units. So we're going to look to continue that momentum here into Monday, June 22nd. Now remember, we're progressing through this tournament, and so that changes the situations and how these matches are played out, depending on the standings and depending on, situations in terms of, how these teams advance and who advances. You will see teams going for draws. You will see teams settling for ties when they maybe would usually go for a win, but we've been dealing with that pretty much the entire tournament, so not much really changes here. But anyways, without further ado, let's get into the games for Monday, June 22nd. First on the board, we've got Argentina and Austria. So Lionel Messi and company will be in action at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time on Monday, June 22nd, up against Austria. 2 very talented teams. Obviously, Argentina have a team full of world-class players. We saw them defeat Algeria 3-0. Leo Messi with the hat trick. Unbelievable what this guy is able to do at his age is just ridiculous. So Emi Martinez in goal. You're going to have Molina, Romero, Martinez, and Medina at the back. In the midfield, you've got DePaul, McAllister, Fernandez, Almada. And then up top, Leo Messi and Lautaro Martinez. And then off the bench, you'll have Julian Alvarez coming on. Austria, they're going to have Schlager in goal, the RB Leipzig man. I'm sorry, the RB Salzburg man. You've got Leimer, the Bayern Munich man. David Alaba, the Real Madrid man. You've got Schlager, the Leipzig man. Chukwuemeka, from Borussia Dortmund, Marcel Sabitzer from Borussia Dortmund, and then Marko Arnautovic from a former West Ham player. But a lot of talent on the field here. I think Austria are being heavily underrated by the overall general public in this game. Austria are underdogs here, plus a goal. So they're getting a goal at odds of plus 100. I mean, I think that is an absolute steal, considering the world-class talent that Austria possesses. I mean, yes, Argentina is more talented. Argentina is the more talented side, the better side, but Austria will make things difficult on Argentina, and we saw Austria pick up a 3-1 victory in their first game over Jordan. They were very impressive in that one. Coming in, Austria have been playing well. They beat Tunisia 1-0. They beat South Korea 1-0. They beat Ghana 5-1. So Austria have been playing very well. They've won now 8 out of their last 10 games. And no, I'm been very impressed with this Argentina side, but Austria are also very good. I don't think they're just going to roll over here. Both teams with 3 points in the standings in Group J. And so the winner of this game, I believe, clinches the group. Now, Austria will be trying to go for a tie. They'll be happy with a draw here. Argentina, of course, will be going for the win. So, yeah, again, I think this is going to be very close. I mean, when we've seen Austria go up against solid competition, they've always played those, solid teams very tough. So they've got a plethora of experience at the top level. They've got guys that have faced Messi before, that have faced these top guys before in, Marcel Sabitzer. You've got Leimer in this lineup for Austria. Alaba has played these top guys. Schlager. So, they've got a bunch of guys. Chukwuemeka. They've got a bunch of guys that are used to playing top teams. And so they're not going to be in awe against Messi. I just think Austria is heavily undervalued and heavily underrated. I think Argentina are overvalued and overrated in this spot. And I think a lot of casual bettors are going to see Leo Messi score 3 goals in that first game. They're going to see Argentina go win 3-0 over Algeria, and everybody's just going to rush to the window to bet Argentina again here in this spot against Austria. And I think Austria are a step up in competition for Argentina. And I think they're heavily underrated and heavily undervalued. So we're going to take a shot on Austria plus a goal. Odds of plus 100 for 1 unit. All right, next up on the board, we've got France and Iraq. Now, of course, there's a big starting quality team. There's a lot of talent here, gap for France. Obviously, France are a much more talented team. They've got world-class players at every position. And Iraq really don't have any world-class players for that matter. France come in playing very well. They defeated Senegal 3-1. Before that, they had wins over over Colombia and over Brazil. They did lose to the Ivory Coast, but we've seen the Ivory Coast, man. That team is a tough team. Ivory Coast will punch up, but so France have been playing very well coming in. I mean, they beat Brazil coming into this. They beat Colombia. They beat Northern Ireland. They beat Senegal. They've won 8 out of their last 10 games. Meanwhile, Iraq have lost 2 in a row. They lost 4-1 to Norway. They lost 2-0 to Venezuela. They did get a 1-1 tie against Spain, so you got to tip your cap to them for that. But they tend to lose when they play better competition. We saw them lose to Jordan, and they lost to Algeria in late 2025. So, yes, France is going to win the game. The question is, what's the final score going to be here? And do you think Iraq contributes to this total? I don't think Iraq scores in this game. I think France's defense will keep a clean sheet. So then the question becomes, how many goals do France score in this spot? Now, I do think France will be pushing for goals throughout because they're going to be trying to improve their goal differential. Right now, France have 3 points, but they're in second place because Norway defeated Iraq by 3 goals. So Norway has a +3 goal differential. France just a +2 goal differential after France beat Senegal 3-1. So France will be wanting to up their goal difference by as much as possible. They will be pushing for the late goals, even if they're up 2-0 or 3-0 here. However, I would rather take the position that France wins 2-0 or 3-0 than take the position that France wins 4-0 or 5-0. I think, 3-0. I think, a 3-0 France win is the most likely option here. And so that's why I'm going to take the under 3.5 goals here at odds of -110. I don't see Iraq scoring in this game, so then the question becomes, how many do France score by themselves? And I'd rather, be on the position that they score 3 or less as opposed to them scoring 4 or more by themselves. So give me under 3.5 total goals in the France versus Iraq game at odds of -110 for 1.1 units. Next up, we've got Norway and Senegal. This is potentially the game of the day. Two teams with a lot of talent. Obviously, Norway, world-class players in Sander Berge, Martin Odegaard, Antonio Nusa, Sorloth, and Erling Haaland. And then for Senegal, man, these guys are a lot of ballers on this team. Edouard Mendy, Niakate, Koulibaly, Diouf. You've got in the midfield Idrissa Gueye and Pape Gueye, and then you've got Pape Sarr. You've got Iliman Ndiaye, Sadio Mane, Nico Jackson. So this Senegal team is extremely talented, and I think they're being underrated and undervalued by the overall betting market here and by the overall general public. Senegal, they did lose to France 3-1. They did tie Saudi Arabia 0-0, and they did lose to the USA 3-2 coming into this tournament. So they have not been playing well, and that's what has given me a little bit of cause for pause on the side of Senegal. I do think they are very talented. I think these two teams are pretty much equal in terms of talent level, but Norway is playing better right now. Norway defeated Iraq 4-1. They tied Morocco 1-1. They beat Sweden 3-1, and they tied Switzerland 0-0. So Norway comes in playing very well. Senegal come in playing pretty shaky. We mentioned the loss against France, the loss against USA, and the tie against Saudi Arabia. Now, the over has hit in 7 out of the last, or I should say the over 2.5 goals has hit in 7 out of the last 10 games for Norway, and it's hit in 6 out of the last 10 games for Senegal. And I think here in this spot, we see two attacks that are very talented, with the likes of Erling Haaland, Martin Odegaard, Antonio Nusa, Sorloth, and then a Norway defense that's a bit shaky, if you will. They allowed a goal to Iraq, so that should tell you enough as it is. But the Senegal defense is pretty similar. I think they're going to have issues with that Norway attack, but the Senegal attack is very nice. Sadio Mane, you've got Sarr, you've got, you've got Nico Jackson and Iliman Ndiaye, and then the midfield is strong for Senegal with Idrissa Gueye. So I think both attacks are going to have plenty of, fun in this game. Obviously, Senegal, 0 points. They cannot lose this game after losing their opener to France. And Norway looking for a win, try to get to 6 points and stay atop the group. I like the over here. I like the over 2.5 goals at odds of -110 for 1.1 unit. It's hitting 7 out of the last 10 for Norway. It's hitting 6 out of the last 10 for Senegal. I think these are two attacks that have a lot of talent, and then two defenses that are a bit shaky. So, yeah, give me the over here. I think we see this game get to 3 goals for sure. I can see a 2-1 either way, and I could also see a 2-2 draw in the end here. I will say the biggest concern to this bet is a 1-1 finish, a 1-1 draw, because both teams will be happy with a draw in this game. That is the one concern, is that Norway with a tie here, they get 4 points, and they'll be in good shape heading to their match against France. And then Senegal, if they could get a tie, they stay alive, and they will face Iraq next. So a tie isn't the worst for either team, but a win would be huge for both teams. I don't think they're both. I don't think either team's going to be going for the tie per se, but if it is 1-1 or 0-0 late in the game, I could see them both just settling down and not being too overly risky. Maybe just being a little bit cautious and going, settling for that draw. But overall, I love the over here. Two offenses that are very talented. It's hit at a high rate in the last 10 games for both of these teams. Both teams seem to be a little bit leaky at the back. Both teams seem to be allowing goals. And then both teams are able to score a lot of goals. So, yeah, give me the over 2.5 here, odds of -110 for 1.1 units. And then last but not least, we've got Jordan and Algeria. We've mentioned Jordan lost their first game of this tournament. They lost that game to Austria 3-1, and then Algeria lost 3-0 to Argentina. So both these teams with 0 points. Both teams needing a result here to stay alive. Now Jordan have lost 3 games in a row. They lost 3-1 to Austria. They lost 2-0 to Colombia in a friendly before the World Cup, and they lost 4-1 against Switzerland in a friendly before the World Cup. So Jordan come in playing very poorly. Algeria, of course, come in playing pretty well. They did lose to Argentina 3-0, but that's Argentina. It was Leo Messi with a hat trick. 2 of those goals were phenomenal. And then you've got Algeria. They had a win 4-0 over Bolivia in their last friendly. They beat Netherlands 1-0 in a friendly in early June. They tied Uruguay 0-0. They beat Guatemala 7-0. They've got wins by margin over Equatorial Guinea 3-1 and over Sudan 3-0. So I personally think Algeria are the far more talented team. They've got the likes of Riyad Mahrez over there. They have the young player Maza Bouadoui in the midfield, and then Ryan Ait-Nouri as well. They are the much more talented team compared to Jordan, and I think Algeria will overwhelm Jordan here. Jordan have not looked good in their last 3 games, losing all of them by at least 2 goals. Meanwhile, Algeria have looked fantastic. They did lose to Argentina, but a nice win over the Netherlands and a tie against Uruguay. Yeah, give me Algeria here -1. Odds of -110 for 1.1 units to round out the night. I think they are the better team. I think they will get the win. When you look at that group, both teams need to avoid losing to stay alive, but I just think Algeria will be pushing for the 3 points. I think they win by margin in that game. They are the far superior side. So Algeria -1, odds of -110 for 1.1 unit. Now, let's go over the plays one final time, but please, if you could, remember to like, comment, and subscribe if you have not already. Really helps the channel grow. Now, another reminder, we're 10 wins, 3 losses, and 1 push in our last 14 FIFA World Cup picks coming into Monday, June 22nd, up about 6.3 units during those last 14 FIFA World Cup picks. All right, 4 picks for Monday, June 22nd. Austria +1, odds of +100 for 1 unit. We're going to take the under 3.5 goals in the France versus Iraq game at odds of -110 for 1.1 units. We're going to take the over 2.5 goals in the Norway versus Senegal game, odds of -110 for 1.1 units. And we'll take Algeria -1 goal, odds of -110 for 1.1 units. All right, guys, let's keep this hot streak going. And thank you again for tuning in. And until next time, I will see you tomorrow.